No, you don't. You, shorty that ran into my fiance car.
It's something different about him, and I know that he has a girl, but everything about him just says that he's supposed to be mine. Like, I can honestly feel it.
Man, I see you out here doing big things, man.
Being here with you was really making me happy.
I felt the same way too.
When I get home, I got a lot to handle. You do too. I know you got a man.
You have a whole fiance at home, remember?
Girl, did he hit you?
I already knew how this little thing between us was gonna end.
Can I be cooped up in this dirty, dingy ass motel room like this, bro? This right here, this is our reality.
You both knew that this wasn't gonna work.
We got something special.
I have to save myself.
Don't touch me again. You know what's happening.
Get out! All my life, I've been waiting for somebody to save me. I knew that it was gonna be you.
Oh, I can't seem to let you go.
Yes.
What's poppin', T Squad? It is me, Keisha, and today I have a very special guest with me. I have none other than Love and Marriage Huntsville star, Miss Vanessa Tracy. Everybody say hello. So how's your Sunday been going so far?
It's been awesome. I can't complain.
Good. Well, let's get into this because the people are excited about seeing you on this channel. Let me ask you, first of all, how did you even find my channel?
Well, I was just, when the show started, because I didn't know anything about, YouTubers doing commentary on shows and things like that. And I was just sort of scrolling through, and that was like during the time when COVID had really hit. And people were losing a lot of family members and friends and things like that. And I ran across your commentary, and what made me love yours was you made people laugh. Yeah. It was funny. Yeah. And even though, some of the things you had to say about Melody and others, but you did it and it was so funny. Yeah. And what I really loved about it was you would say stuff and you would laugh at yourself. Yeah. And that's what drew me to your channel. Yeah. Was that it made me laugh during a time when things were really rough.
I know. Yeah, I always tell people my channel is all about just laughing and having fun. Nothing is to be taken seriously. It's just for fun and, just to bring a smile on, people's faces because, people have a lot going on in life. So I also want to just personally say thank you for being a place of comfort for me doing, my trials and tribulations that I've been going through. You didn't have to do it, just reaching out, when my family members passed away early this year and then, me going through breast cancer, just always checking in and just, wishing me well in your prayers. I just want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for all of that because it means the world to me. Thank you so much.
Well, that's the way it's supposed to be. We're supposed to care about what each other is going through and be there for each other. So it's just, that's one thing that I do enjoy doing, knowing that I can be there for someone that's going through something difficult. And if it's not returned to me, it might be returned to my grandchild or my child somewhere down the road,
Yeah, I believe that 100%. Okay, so where did you grow up, Miss Vanessa?
I grew up in a small town called Brundage, Alabama. Mm-hmm. There were 10 of us. So I had I had 2 sisters and 7 brothers. Mm-hmm. My mom, she was killed in a car accident when I was young.
to hear that.
Yeah, when I was 14, her car was hit by a drunk driver. So my grandmom on my mom's side, as well as my dad, raised us.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I have a lot of my family lives in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. So
Okay.
yeah. Yeah. What was your childhood like growing up?
You know, I would say because of the loss of my mom, there were probably some challenges that I had that I would not have had, you know, if that had not happened to my mom. But like I said, my grandmom and, you know, other family members and my dad, they did the best that they could possibly do with us. In high school, I was the girl that was always in something, you know, I was singing a lot. I was playing in the band. I was also in plays, you know, so I was sort of the one that everybody figured, okay, she's going to go into theater or something like that.
Okay.
And growing up, I wanted to be in radio and television communication. That's what I wanted to do. I wanted to be in broadcasting.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
You would have been great because you actually have the voice for it. You really do. So Mel gets her singing and acting from you.
Yeah, I would say so. Melody, a lot of people don't know this, but she also plays the keyboard and the piano by ear.
Oh, wow.
Now she gets that from her dad. Okay. But her ambition and, you know, her talent, that, you know, God gave it to her first. Yeah. But I definitely tried to foster that in her as she was growing up, because we just saw in her that, you know, that was something that she would really be good at, and she enjoyed it.
So how would you describe yourself in 5 words?
In 5 words?
Yeah.
Okay. Resilient, meek, humble, thankful, grateful.
Wow. Now I'm shocked at the meek one. I'm shocked at that.
Well, I'm the type of person, and I'm serious about this. I'm the type of person, people have always said this about me. I'm sort of quiet unless I have something to say, you know?
Okay. I'm a lot like that. People think that I'm just this big personality because how I am on YouTube. But in real life, people are like, you so quiet. And I'll be like, well, I don't really have much to say. I just kind of keep to myself, you know? What would you say would be your greatest strength and weakness?
My greatest strength would be the fact that I'm an optimist. I think that's probably my greatest strength. And this is going to sound a little strange, but it goes hand in hand. And being an optimist is also my weakness. Because I've learned over the years that, you know, being an optimist, in some cases you can be gullible.
Yeah.
So I've learned to not only be an optimist, but also be a realist too.
Yeah.
So that I'm not being so gullible, because sometimes you can get caught up in that, wanting to see the good in everything and everyone. And sometimes it's not there at that moment. And that's when you have to be a realist, you know, and say, hey, okay.
Did you always know that you wanted to become an author?
Growing up, I really didn't think about being an author per se, but I would be in a lot of public speaking contests and I would write a lot of speeches and stuff like that. And I kept a journal, you know, growing up. So I did a lot of writing. So I guess you could say at a young age, I sort of learned that I was really good at putting my thoughts and stuff on paper. But like I said, being an author wasn't something I inspired to be. I wanted to be in television broadcast.
Yeah. So when did you like pick up the pen and say, I'm gonna write a book?
My first novel, well, I started writing before I did my first novel, because I actually wrote a poem that was published in the National Library of Poetry back in 1996. That was my first published work. And then the novel that I did, Usher Yet Abandoned the Mask of a First Lady, to be honest with you, it was something I did. It was a way of healing, you know, from what I was going through. And I tell everyone that, you know, the first draft was me writing from a place of hurt. The second draft was me writing from a place where I was starting to heal. And the final draft, which you all are able to, you know, purchase today, is a woman who's writing from a place where she has healed, and she came out on the other side a better version of herself.
Thank God.
So, yeah. So that's
Can you
how
tell the viewers a little bit about the book, Usher Get Abandoned? Because I bought it. Yes, I did.
Well, I actually just did an interview about the book. I did a virtual book launch with more books. And we talked a lot about it, and they plan on bringing me back again later on, and we're going to talk some more about it. But it's basically a story of Minister Viv. She has been a minister for years, and she ends up being an associate minister in a Baptist ministry. And she faced some challenges because, you have the older generation that just didn't take well to a woman being in the pulpit.
Yeah.
But she was able to win them over, once they saw, just how serious she was about what she was preaching. And then they saw the Jesus in her. And she ends up marrying a pastor, and they venture out and they start their own ministry, and things start sort of going topsy-turvy. Yeah.
Okay. And is this based off a true story? This is based off your life or people you know?
Minister Viv is me.
Okay. 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 I just want the viewers to know.
Yeah.
So what advice would you give your younger self?
The advice I would give my younger self would be not to let the opinions of others restrict me from doing something that I really want to do.
Yes.
When I was younger, sometimes that negativity, it even comes from family members.
Yeah.
But I know there were things that I was trying to do when I was younger that I sort of abandoned because, a statement that was made by other people, oh, you're not going to be able to do that. Oh, you can't do that. Oh, you're not pretty enough to do that, and that's why I work so hard to try to instill in my grandbabies whenever I'm with them that, you can be anything you want to be, and I'm constantly telling them, how pretty they are, how handsome you are. And, oh, you can be. And as a matter of fact, one of the first song that they learned when they were able to really talk and stuff was, I'm a promise, I'm a possibility, I am a promise with a capital P. And they used to sing that all the time. I'm not saying that their parents don't instill that in them, but I like to sort of reinforce it whenever they're with me, because I knew the challenges I went through growing up.
And those things actually do work, and they do stay with children, because my mom was always the type of mom that always told me, where there's a will, there's a way, and you can do anything you put your mind to. So I never had any cap on how far I could go in life. And it frustrates me sometimes when I have friends or even supporters of mine, they be like, I want to do such and such, or I can't do this, because I'm like, just do it. You never know what will happen until you try. So that is a wonderful thing that you're instilling in the kids. And that's something that they're going to take with them for a long time. So thank you for that, because a lot of people don't do that with their children or grandchildren.
Where your friends are blessed to have you in their life to sort of reinforce them like that, because a lot of people don't have that.
No.
I've learned that people are so quick to tell you these days what you can't do.
Yep.
Instead of supporting what you can do.
Yep.
And, I think that's why, what's the saying? Sometimes you have to encourage yourself. I think that's such a strong statement, because, people would rather tear you down instead of build you up.
Yeah, you have to be your biggest champion in this life, because it is hard out here. So how old were you when you became pregnant with Mel, and what was your relationship like with her father?
Okay. When I got pregnant with Mel, I was out of high school, first semester in college.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. One of those, if you want to say it that way, kids that have been sheltered at home, you go off to college, hey, I'm free.
Yeah.
But Melody's dad, we spent time together. I cared deeply for him. I got pregnant. and he bounced.
Oh,
That's
been there.
yeah, that's pretty much the best way to say it, and it was addressed a little bit on the show in one of the conversations or sit downs that I had with her. But, it was a very difficult time for me because I knew my family was going to tear me to pieces when they found out I was pregnant and not married. So I knew that was going to make things very difficult. But having her was the best decision that I made.
Same. And look how everything turned out in the end. Let's look how wonderful of a daughter that you have raised. How was it raising Melody, and what type of child was she growing up?
It was, and I say this a lot now that, it has been a pleasure and it continues to be a pleasure for me to be her mom. She was a child that never got in trouble. She made me being her mom very easy. Like I said, she was always involved in something, and I did everything that I could do to make sure that she got to experience a lot of different things so that she could sort of really find out what she really wanted to do. Even though she played the piano and the keyboard by ear, she also plays the flute. And and I made sure that she took piano lessons because I wanted her to learn how to read sheet music. I didn't want her to just play by ear. And it was funny because her teacher got to the point where she wouldn't play anything in front of Melody because she determined that, okay, she's just playing what she heard me play. She's not really. Yeah. But she enjoyed that. She had uncles, and other family members that loved her dearly. And if she missed, and I'm sure she did at some point, because I remember when she was younger, like really younger, like maybe 3 or 4, she wanted me and her dad to be together. But then as she got older and she sort of understood things a little bit better, I just allowed her to develop her own relationship with her dad. They didn't need there being that mediator. She was old enough to make her own decisions. And when she was in high school, they connected, and she would go spend the weekends with him, and he would come to her events and things like that. But, that's their relationship. So I stay out of it because it's their relationship.
Yeah, I did the same exact thing. So I understand fully well what you mean by that. Is Mel your only child? And if so, did you ever want to have more children?
Melody was raised as an only child. You all have seen some of her other siblings on the show, her Marcus or sister Kim. No, I never really thought about it. It's sort of like, I guess if the situation had been different, if I had been married and I had a supportive husband, of course. But, you remember what I just said when I prayed it with Melody, it was very difficult during my pregnancy, because not only was I dealing with taking care of myself, but I had this other person that didn't want anything to do with this baby. And then I had family that was like, you just mess your life up. I was going to be the first one of my siblings to graduate from college.
How did you feel when you learned that Mel was going to do reality television?
It was sort of bittersweet, because I had seen how hard they had worked on it. I was there at the consumption of it when they decided, when Melody pretty much decided, hey, this would be a good idea. And Martel was on board with it. So, I was there when we were filming the reels and all that kind of stuff. But the fair became knowledge to me right before they found out that the show was being picked up and that the cameras were coming.
Wow.
I think Melody had an incident prior to that, but I had talked to both of them when I found out the cameras was coming, and I was like, look, you guys need to make sure that your marriage is strong. Because if it's not, once you get on this reality TV show, it's going to pull you in all directions, and you have to make sure that it's strong. And they reassured me, that their marriage was strong. It was something that had happened in the past. I was reassured, I'm not going to do that to your daughter again. We moved past that. And the show was really supposed to show, okay, they went through this in their marriage because they knew they had to put it out there.
Yeah.
Or someone, I hear people say the best thing for you to do is tell your own story.
Yes, ma'am.
So they had to address it to get it behind them.
Yeah.
And, she thought they were going to be showing, we went through this in our marriage. We got past it and we're stronger than ever.
Yeah, it was supposed to have been just strictly focused on them building houses and, doing all this stuff. And then it turned left.
Yeah, some of the things that were going on had continued to happen.
Yeah.
And, if cameras are there, I don't understand why anyone wouldn't think that if they were doing something that they didn't want out there in public, that it wouldn't somehow become public.
Yeah. I mean, it's pretty obvious to us, the viewers, that Mel is was the brains behind that relationship.
Well, you know what? The funny thing is they worked really well as a team.
Yeah.
In every aspect of the word. They really did.
Mm-hmm.
And, even for me, when I see some of the stuff that's taking place now and the way he's handling things, I'm very disappointed and a bit bothered by it.
Yeah,
because we were all family.
Yeah. Yeah. Can you tell us a little bit about each of your grandchildren's personalities? Because they are just the most cutest little things ever. I love them.
Okay. Mariah, who is the oldest, she's sort of reserved.
Yeah, I can tell.
Yeah, she's reserved, and she's at the age where she's starting to somewhat discover who she is. She wants her own space from her siblings and stuff like that sometimes. But yeah, she's very reserved, but she's very tenderhearted. I guess that's a good word for it. She's very tenderhearted. Martel, which is next to the oldest, he's just, I call him an old soul. He's very attentive, very little get past him. And he can go to you can take him someplace on the vehicle one time and he can tell you how to get back to it 3 weeks later. Yeah, but he's very attentive. He's the one that when you get ready to go to bed at night, he's going to walk through the house and make sure all the doors are locked.
Oh.
Yeah, he's just very attentive. Mariah and Melanie, I'm going to put them in a boat together because they just have so much personality.
They do.
They have so much personality. And I see so much of Melody in all four of them.
Yeah.
To tell the truth, at different stages in her life, I see a lot of her in them.
Yeah, they are beautiful. I love them. And me and my best friend were just talking about the baby. And we were just saying every time we see her on camera, she's just smiling. She's just so happy. I just love to see her smile. Like, oh, she's just so cute to me. So did you think that the show was going to be as big as it is?
I was hoping that it would be, because like I said, I know how hard they had worked on trying to make it happen. I just wish that it had been what it was originally set out to be, because to be honest with you, and I can only speak for Melody and somewhat speak for Martel, they didn't have drama in their lives. I know Melody didn't, and so to see it sort of take that turn where it seems like drama is what sells, that's a little disappointing, but I hope they're able to get back to what it was originally supposed to be. Yeah. Or I hope God bless Melody to the point where she can go off on her
own show.
And do what she really wants to do. Yeah. Because, they were going to pitch it to HGTV.
Oh, wow.
And, the original format of the show. And then, they hooked up with Carlos and he wanted to do, like he said, he could best sell an ensemble. And that's when the other couples came into.
Okay. So what was your first day of filming like, and were you nervous?
I was nervous my first day of filming, simply because of what the content was that I was having to film.
Oh yeah.
You know, a lot of people watch the show and they see it as entertainment, so to speak.
Yeah, but this is your real
I think
life.
people forget this is our real lives.
Yeah.
And you can be to move past something or think you're in a good place with someone, because we don't see the show prior to you all seeing it.
Oh,
We don't see the
it on the
episode.
same night?
We see it on the same night.
Wow.
So I know what I filmed, and I know what I filmed with who, but I don't know what anyone else has filmed, what they said, what they've done, nothing like that.
Okay.
And Melody, she doesn't share with me what she's filmed with anyone else on the show. You know, we just don't talk about that. When we're together, we talk about other stuff. We don't talk about that. So you think you're in a good place with someone, and then you see an episode and you see something that they said, and you're like, what? No.
Wow. Okay. Because I think with the housewives, they're able to get their episodes at least a few days prior. So yeah, that's crazy that y'all have to watch it when we watch it. Because Lord. So what have you learned about yourself since becoming a reality television star?
What have I learned about myself?
We know you don't do ghetto. We know you don't do ghetto.
No. I think I've learned that I have more ability to sort of, and I hate to use the term turn the other cheek.
Yeah.
Because, you know, for some reason people think, you know, if you're a Christian or if you say you're a member of the cloth or whatever, they can just do whatever they want to do to you. You're not supposed to respond. You're not supposed to have any feelings about it, you know, anything like that. But I think I've learned that I can be a lot more patient when it comes down to certain things. And I've definitely learned, you know, hey, if you're not in my circle and you don't know me, I really don't care what you think.
Exactly.
Because your opinion has very little weight on how I feel and how I move. Now, if you're in my immediate circle or in my family, that's a different story. Right. But, you know, all of these people on social media that wants to come at you, or, you know, a lie goes farther than the truth. Yep. I've learned not to let that bother me anymore. Okay. So I think I've had a lot of growth from first season to now. And I can honestly say that I've had more positive response, you know, from me being on the show than I have negative, you know, so that probably helps me a lot too. I think the most difficult thing has been for me to have to watch Melody go through something so horrific, so publicly, you know.
Yeah. Do you think that Destiny, Tiffany, and
see, that's what I'm saying about you laugh at yourself and then you have me laughing.
I had to do it. We're good additions to the show.
I think they were needed.
Okay.
You know, I think they were needed.
Okay.
And you know, if Carlos decided they were a good fit for it, like I said, they say he's reality TV gold.
Yeah. Because Tiffany had the people talking those first couple of episodes. She really did. They didn't know what to really think of her. They didn't know whether to like her or to hate her. She had them talking, so she did what needed to be done. What do you think about Wanda and Marlene getting involved in the kids' quarrels on the show?
I'll start with Wanda. I think she just talks to hear herself talking. It doesn't even have to make sense. It doesn't have to be
never makes sense.
It's definitely it's definitely not intended to bring in any kind of peace. Okay.
No.
She's not someone that I would even have in my circle, you know, because of the way she moves. As far as Marlene is concerned, I'm a little surprised by the way she's been moving this season, because I've never seen that in her. And like I said, we all were family. We spent a lot of time around each other. And I've never seen that in her. And to see some of these episodes and to hear some of the stuff she had to say, about Melody, the mother of her children. And for me to know that that is not true, it's a bit bothering.
Yeah, no, it has to be. Because in that scene, when she was sticking up for Martel at the Destiny run, I could just look at Mel's face and see it was a bit confusing for her. You could tell that she was hurt and kind of like, what is going on here? I felt really bad for her in that scene. I really honestly did, because you could tell she didn't know what to make of what was going on right then and there with her. When you caught wind of the live that Wanda did talking about your grandchildren, did you want to hop in your car and go knock on her door?
Well, I don't do any drive-ups. I don't do any knocking on the doors. But it bothered me because, the way that whole thing came up was Marcel and Latisha had decided to take the kids to Mariah's birthday party. You have to remember, not only were the parents friends, but the kids were friends too.
Yeah.
Yeah. And apparently she had a problem with them taking her grandkids to my grandkids' birthday party. And that's when she did a live after the show aired, and she made the comment that she made about, I don't care about those kids. Those kids might get jealous of my grandkids and cut their hair, probably got their mama in them, or, just some crazy junk like that. Mm-hmm. So I thought that was totally out of line, because at no point in time had anyone said anything about anyone's kids, and for her to say that, and then for Latisha to sort of play it off and not really address it, to shut it down, so that it would sort of bring about peace instead of have it escalate to where it did. Because, I don't blame Martel. When I saw her, I would have confronted her too about saying that about my.
Now, that was one of the times I did side with Martel, because I was like, no way, like, you're too old to be acting the way that you acting. Like, this is ridiculous.
Yeah. So, I didn't blame him, for confronting her about it. And it was just totally out of line. It
was tasteless. It was ridiculous. It was insulting. It was childish. It was so many things. I was shocked when I saw the video. I couldn't believe that she would say, well, I could believe it, because this is Wanda. I know that Melody said in her confessional that she was appalled that Marceau had the nerve to call out Miss Wanda for her poor behavior at the Destiny race. Yet last season, he put those, allegations out about you. How did you feel about that when you saw that episode?
About him taking up for me about what Miss Wanda did, or?
Yeah, because I think it was, not this Saturday's episode, but the Saturday, last Saturday, when everybody had the meeting at Melody's office, and he brought up how Wanda was acting at the Destiny run. And Mel in her confessional was like, I can't believe that he had the nerve to be sitting up here saying that Wanda was wrong for how she approached my mother, but he was the same person that had all these things to say about my mom last season himself. So How did you feel about that?
People can say stuff, but your actions speak louder than words. Mm-hmm. At that moment, you were correcting her for what she said. But to this day, do you yet you have not made an apology to me for, the lie that you started spreading. Right. And to be clear, I have never made a sex tape. You cannot have a tape of me doing something that I never did.
Yeah, I mean, we all knew it. We all knew that man was lying.
And that got started, when him and Martel were into it really, really bad. Mm-hmm. And when him, Melody, and Martel was into it really, really bad. And I guess he thought, that would shut them down. But my thing is, you and I had a work relationship,
right?
Where I had worked my butt off, helping Scope get off the ground and become the company that you wanted it to be. I got behind the vision. And for you to attack me to deflect from the crap you had going on in your life. Because the person you got that from, you knew it was a lie when they told you that, because you knew it wasn't even my character.
Exactly.
So for you to put that out there and then later try to retract and say, well, I didn't say who mom it was. You sent it to Melody and Martel.
Exactly.
You know.
Exactly. So have the things that Marlene said about Mel this season changed the way you feel about her and your relationship with her?
I was really hoping, that she and I could have maintained the relationship that we had. Because whenever I would go up to visit, Melody, and I take the grandkids out, I would always hook up with her and we would do something with them together.
Mm-hmm.
I was hoping that could continue. But now that I know how she feels about certain things, and to be clear, she's a mom that loves her child, and I respect that.
Exactly.
And I'm a mom that loves mine, and I hope she will respect that. But right now, I don't plan to have any interactions with her or Martel at this point.
Yeah.
I see my grandbabies whenever they get back with Melody. I make sure I go to see them and spend time with them. Hopefully we can get to a place where that can change. But for right now, to keep my sanity and to keep peace, I just communicate with them when they're with Melody and spend time with them when they're with Melody.
Yeah, because it's one thing to stick up for your child, because like you said, she is Martel's mother. I have a son, but it's also holding your child accountable for his or her actions. And we, the viewers, just saw this major switch up with her from the previous seasons up until now. She would hold him accountable, and she was just so nice and caring, even when he told her he had a baby, and, she was crying. And then all of a sudden she's trying to make Mel seem like she's just sitting there eating bonbons while he working so hard, and like she was just running him into the mud. It was like, where is all this coming from? I didn't understand it. It was just a major flip flop. It was shocking to see to all of us.
It was shocking to me. Like I said, this season, what I'm seeing in her, I didn't see it coming.
Do you think that it could possibly be because the money has run out on Martel's end, and Mel is, doing what she needs to do, and she's succeeding and her son isn't?
I can't even pretend to know what's going through her mind, or, I don't know what he's been telling her. I don't know what their situation is.
Do you think that her and Latisha will be able to keep this truce that they have going right about now?
Do they have a truce?
Oh. Well, it seems like they get along better than they did last season. They haven't argued or anything. It seemed like they came to some type of conclusion of, we know we're not friends, but we're going to be cordial on the show.
Yeah, I think Melody has had a couple of interviews where she said, she does not see other cast members outside of the show or communicate with them, except for, Destiny. And I think she said that her and Kimmy, they'll text each other and stuff. But I'm pretty sure she said she doesn't have a relationship with them outside of the show.
Yeah, that's the best way to go about it. So we heard Latisha refer to you as a cyberbully, and we know the severity of what that means. Tell us what you were thinking and feeling that moment when you heard her say that.
First of all, I think she knew that was a lie when it left her mouth. I was a little shocked that she had used a terminology that is such a serious terminology to describe me when she knows that didn't even fit me. Kids have taken their lives because of cyberbullying.
Yeah.
They become socially isolated because of cyberbullying. And I would have thought that she would have been informed enough to know that terminology had nothing to do with what was going on with me and her mom. You know, now if you want to call your mom a cyberbully, please, by all means, go ahead. You know, but for her to call me that, she knew it was a lie when it left her mouth. And I hope that because she got such a negative response from that, I hope she would think twice before she throws, you know, terms like that out there so loosely.
We've seen on the show how the Scotts keep coming for you. First it was the brothers, then it was Wanda, now it's Latisha. How do you feel about that, especially since we all know you don't do ghetto and you ain't got time for all of that?
Well, I think it's one of those things where, you know, if you can't get to Melody, you'll get to the next thing next to her.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it's sad because you haven't gotten any of that from me. You know, because we all were sort of around each other. We all know some stuff. Okay. And you haven't heard me say anything or repeat any conversations I've overheard. And I'm not going to because of who I am. But, you know, it never works out. So I really don't pay much attention to it. You know, like I tell Melody, I'm not going to even respond to it. I let the fans handle it.
Yeah. And you know, I told you don't say nothing because I handle it for you.
Yeah, you know, the fans pretty much handles it. So
yeah, because we see the difference between the moms on the show. Let's just keep it 100. And we see how Wanda has acted. We saw how Marlene has acted this season. And you always just, when you do film, it's all about your grandchildren and your daughter. You really don't say anything disparaging about anybody else. You are focused on what you're focused on, and you don't even involve yourself in what, you know, Mel is going through with the other castmates. We see it. So we see through the BS. Like I said, this season, Mel has been able to keep a level head in contentious situations, except for when it comes to Martel. Why do you think that she feels the need to consistently argue with him? Because, you know, this is something that I get so irritated about on my reviews. I'm like, just stop arguing with him. If you stop arguing with him, he can only argue with himself.
Yeah. Do I wish, you know, there were some situations that she had handled differently? Oh gosh, yes. You know, and I would call her sometimes after an episode aired and I would say, Melody. Yeah. But then I had to check myself and I sort of had to step back because I'm not in her situation.
True.
And unfortunately, you can't tell a person how to get over something or when they should be over it or how they should even react to it.
True.
You know, do you wish, you know, they had handled things differently? Oh, yeah. But who's to say that if I was in that exact situation, I wouldn't have handled it that way?
Yeah.
You know, and like I said, you all see 40 minutes of filming. You know, after it's edited, you see 40 minutes of filming. You don't see the 24/7 stuff, you know, when the cameras are not there.
Yeah.
So, you know, and let's be real, in a real world, they wouldn't even be in each other's presence that much as a divorced couple.
No.
You know, so you're putting two people who are newly divorced, who are still dealing with the hurt, the embarrassment, and all of that of it all. And it's stuff that haven't stopped. It continues. And they're being attacked by well, let me just say it like this. And not only is the person you divorce attacking you, but he's allowing something that is attached to him attack you and degrade you. And he's not putting a stop to it.
Yeah.
So, you know, when you guys get around each other, that's a recipe for disaster. Yeah. And I'm really hoping, you know, that in the coming up season, they don't have to film so much together.
Yeah.
Or that maybe they're in a better place where if they do have to film together, it's not so contentious.
Yeah. I think that moving forward, Mel will be able to do it now. I don't know about him because it's a couple of screws loose up in their child.
Girl,
So,
if God is hearing my prayers.
um, so, how is your relationship with Martel now? I know you said that you don't want to have anything to do with him moving forward. So has their divorce affected your relationship with him?
Well, like I said, I always think I always think I'm in one place, and then I see episodes,
Yeah.
and it takes me back to a different place. And actually, it had gotten to the point where when he had the children, I would call him to speak with the kids or send them little messages every morning whenever they were on their way to school, and he'd video them and let them call me back and stuff. So I thought, we were in a good place. But then came the reunion, and he's blocked again.
Oh wow, Jesus Christ. So I know, of course, it was Mel's decision to leave Martel, but what did you feel when she told you that she was filing for divorce? Were you happy, relieved, or were you sad?
Well, I've always told Melody that I supported her in whatever her decision was. It was her marriage. It wasn't my place to tell her what to do, what not to do in it. I had told her if she decided to leave, I supported her in that. If she decided to stay, I supported her in that. And early on, I was rooting for them to make it work.
Mm-hmm.
But when I saw how toxic it had became and how it was affecting her so badly, and how I also saw it was affecting the kids.
Yeah.
I was very supportive of the decision that she made.
Yeah.
And it's good seeing her happy.
Yeah.
And it's good seeing the kids happy. Whenever we spend time together, and like I said, I only see them when they're with her. But, just seeing her enjoy her babies, and they're enjoying her, and no one's getting yelled at, no one's getting a spanking, and she's just allowing them to be children. It's just a whole different atmosphere.
Yeah.
And I love that. And the sad thing is, in hindsight, I look at it and I'm like, God, why didn't I see how miserable my child was?
Wow, that was the next question I was about to ask you. I literally was about to ask you, as a mother, we often see things in our children's mates that they don't see. Did you notice any of Martel's character flaws in the beginning of his and Mel's relationship, or were you shocked by all of this as well?
When Melody and Martel first got together, and she came to me and told me she had someone she wanted me to meet, I was like, no. Because I really wanted her, to get through college and go out and experience life.
Yeah.
I wanted her to just enjoy life, do what, she wanted to do. And, they were very persistent that they just had to have each other. And when I started spending time with him and I sort of learned his background and sort of saw how well they worked together, I was like, you know what? Hey, yeah, maybe so, because he would be with our family, because my family is very tight.
Okay.
He would be with our family and he would say stuff like, man, I love this. I wish my family would get together like this. Or I wish I had this kind of relationship with my family. So, you figure that people are going to treasure what they don't have whenever they have the ability to have it. So, any red flags that I had at the very beginning, they sort of disappeared once I got to know him. But he had always been a little arrogant, which I thought that was a good thing because of his, childhood and his upbringing. But the past 3-4 years, he became very, very arrogant. Like the more successful they got, he became very, very arrogant to the point where it was like a disrespectful arrogant. He would talk to people in a belittling way, So, some people are just not ready for that type of success.
No. When did you find out about the whole ATM arrest thing that he had in his past?
When you all found out.
You
Melody
didn't
had never mentioned it to me. I didn't know until you all found out.
Wow. Yeah, she probably didn't want you to know because we hide stuff from our mamas. We don't want them to know. Yeah, wow.
And and to his defense, my understanding, he was cleared of all of that.
Okay. So when Mel told you about, because I know you said before they started filming the show, she told you about his indiscretion or whatever.
I was actually there when the phone call came in one night.
Stop it, Miss Vanessa. Stop it.
Yeah,
really?
That's how I found out.
So what did you say to your daughter?
You can imagine things were very chaotic that night. She was very angry. He was being arrogant as usual. I couldn't believe it was happening. I had seen little things because I had actually moved up to stay with them while they were pitching the show and stuff so that I could be there to keep the kids and they could be in the home instead of a babysitter coming in because they had to be gone a lot.
Right.
So I had started picking up on little things, that I was sort of side-eyeing a little bit, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But when that call came in that night, it changed our worlds.
Wow.
It changed our worlds. And the funny thing is, the only person I knew to call, because things were chaotic at the house, but the only person I knew to call was his mom. And she didn't answer the phone. She didn't answer the phone because she was at work. And the only other person I knew to call was Marcia.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So I called him, and I was in tears and crying. I had left the house at that point, and Melody wouldn't leave with me. And I was afraid that it was going to get so agitated that the police might end up coming to the house. And I didn't want that for them.
Yeah.
And so I called him and asked him, please just go to the house and get him out for a while. Just get him away from the house for a while. And you can imagine how heart-wrenching it was for me when I find out later, like a year later, like after this show is filming, that he had actually been covering for Martel to do some other stuff that he was doing. That was very heart-wrenching because I'm like, okay, this is a person that I called because I figured he had both of their best interests at heart. And then to later find out that he was paying bills for this person and helping Martel hide money that he was spending, it was hurtful. It was very hurtful.
Now, I know you probably ain't gonna say nothing to this, but I just gotta say it, Miss Vanessa. One of my thoughts on this show has been that Marceau was messing around with the cousin of Martel's. Anything? Do you think? You don't know?
Like I said, I don't even try to figure out. If it doesn't deal with Melody or my grandbabies or affect me directly, I don't get caught up into what's out there on social media about the other cast members or what the other cast members are doing. Unless they put my name in their mouth, it may make me sit up a little bit straight. And depending on what you're saying, I might respond, I might not. Mm-hmm. But usually the fans handle it.
Yeah. Well, what you said was just confirmation enough for me. Oh, Lord. Okay. So I only got a few more questions. And
just to clear it up, I didn't say that out of my own mouth. Mm-hmm. Someone else said that out of their mouth. That he was friend, that they were friends with him and he was paying their bills and for Martel and so yeah, it was just very hurtful because I knew that they all were good friends. Mm-hmm. They weren't just Martel friends. They sat they prop their feet up on the Melody's dinner table.
Right.
You know, yeah.
Yeah, because I've been in that situation, being cheated on, and his friends knew and be in my face and hiding this secret from me. And yeah, it's very hurtful. It's very, because you like, wow, like the fakery of it all. Like,
And you know what? And I think the thing is, what people need to understand, you may say, you know what, I'm not going to get involved in that because that's their marriage. And that's fine. Just don't get involved in it.
Yeah.
But to get involved in it and help it continue, now you're a partaker of it.
Yeah.
So now you can't say, oh, I don't have anything to do with it. No, you're a partaker of it now.
Mm-hmm.
She got married to him right out of college. She helped him finish college and he graduated. So even though he's a little bit older than she is, I would say they were both kids.
Yeah.
So really the time that they spent together, you can sort of say they grew up into their adulthood together.
Yeah.
I just think they grew apart. They went in different directions.
Yeah.
You know, the things that were important to her apparently wasn't as important to him.
Yeah. Yeah. That's unfortunate. So Martel often makes snide comments about not wanting your grandchildren around Mel's brother Marcus because of his sexual orientation. How do you feel about that?
That was disappointing to me too, because I know as a family they had spent a lot of time, you know, with Marcus and Troy. You know, the kids, they love their Uncle Marcus.
Yep.
Up until all of this, I thought Martel, you know, respected and cared for Marcus and Troy a lot. I just think it's just, and I have told Melody this. You know, the first thing a person will do when they have ill intent towards you is try to remove your village.
Yep.
And that's basically what it is.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he's trying to alienate her from her village. And every time he tries to do that, it backfires on him.
It does. It does.
But Marcus is, you know, he's a very good brother to Melody. He's a very good role model for any child.
Yes.
And I feel blessed to know that he's in my grandkids' life.
Yeah, because my brother is also gay and he has been a father figure for my son. So I connect very much with Mel on that level with, you know, having a brother that steps in and cares about you and your children and your well-being and only wants the best for you all. And so to have somebody say such disparaging things about him when you know at the core of this person, they're a good person. Yeah, that's just, it just burns me up every time he says something about him. So I got 3 more questions and that's it. You know, Martel made the comment that he would only remarry Mel for the sake of the children's, but he made it his business to interrupt her date. Do you think that he's really truly over her? No.
I hope. Well, I'm going to say this. I hope so. I hope so, because Melody has definitely moved on, you know, and I hate when people say it was a date. You know, what we do know is that she was having dinner with someone.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now, if it was a date, guess what? She can do whatever she wants to do. She's single. But I really hope that was a one-time thing and it doesn't happen again, because I think that will definitely set this co-parenting thing back a long way. And eventually, you know, they really need to get to the point where they're able to be in a peaceful place enough where if I see you out with somebody, hi, how you doing?
Yeah.
You know, and just keep it moving.
Yeah. Unfortunately, Miss Vanessa, I don't see it on his part. I just don't see it. I don't see it. That man is out to lunch. So as of today, do your grandchildren still not know about their half sibling?
As far as I know, they don't know. As far as I know, they do not know. I know Melody is very adamant about, that is something for their dad to tell them. It has nothing to do with her. It has no connection to her, really.
Right.
And that's something that he needs to tell them.
Ooh.
I'm definitely not going to tell them anything.
Yeah.
Because the fact of the matter is, someday, somewhere, these kids are going to see these episodes.
Yeah. And lastly, you've seen how the constant discord between Melody and Martel has affected your daughter and your grandchildren, because it broke my heart to see Mariah break down and cry. And we saw Mariah and Tank wishing for them to have a reconciliation as parents, but what were those moments like for you to witness all of this stuff?
It was hard, it was really hard, but again, we live this.
Yeah.
So was it a shocker? No. I tell everyone, and I said this since season 1, I think, I listen to the kids.
Yeah.
I listen to them. And, that there have been some things that, they've told me that I have not shared with their parents. But if it was something serious enough,
of course,
I would go to Melody and Martel. I would be like, hey, Mariah said this, or hey, Martel said this, but I've always had a relationship with them from the very beginning where they just feel comfortable enough, telling me stuff.
Yeah.
And I listen.
Yeah.
I listen.
Yeah. Okay. Well, this was a great interview. Thank you so much, Vanessa, for everything. You done blew me away today.
Well, thank you so much for allowing me to come on your platform.
No problem. This was wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Can you let the viewers know about any projects you have coming up and where they can reach you?
Okay. They can follow me on Facebook, Vanessa Rogers Tracy. They can follow me on Instagram at VRT 2019. They can also visit my website, vanessartracy.com. And I just recently signed with Tony Jenkins Entertainment. They're my managing company. So they can also reach me through Tony Jenkins Entertainment. Something that I'm really excited about that I have coming up during the holidays is my series for children. Chronicles of a Grandma Mother animated series is coming out in December.
That is
and
awesome.
I'm really, really excited about that. It was supposed to have been released earlier, but the illustrator had some personal things going on where it was sort of held up a little bit, but we can see the light at the end of the tunnel now, and I'm very excited about that. So if they visit my website, vanessartracy.com, they'll be able to see the release for that. I have some magazine covers that are coming out this winter. Yeah, I have one coming out in December and another one coming out in January. And Tony Jenkins Entertainment has some really great stuff coming up that I'm going to be able to be a part of. And I'm very, very excited about that.
That is great. Well, once again, just thank you so much. You are a phenomenal, beautiful, classy woman. I'm so happy that you ran across my channel that day. I just love you, and I just love the way you have raised just a beautiful daughter. Mel is just a chef's kiss, and your grandchildren are beautiful. Are you single, Miss Vanessa?
I am.
Okay, we're going to get you a man, girl.
Well, you know what? Here's the thing. And someone asked me this not too long ago, and I was like, well, people slide into my DM all the time. But with COVID, I'm just not interested in anybody being in my space like that right now, or me being in anybody's space. It's very flattering, to know that someone wants to take me out to dinner or something like that. But yeah, I'm just not.
I don't blame. Well, at least somebody sliding in your DMs. Ain't nobody sliding in mine.
Well, girl, check this out. Mine was fool because I didn't know what a DM was. And then when someone told me I need to be checking this and checking that, and I got to checking and I saw all these messages and stuff on there, I was like, okay, so that's what people mean when they say sliding in your DM.
That is too cute.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, you guys, for watching this interview. I hope you all enjoyed it. Please follow Miss Vanessa on all of her social media platforms, as well as her website. Check out her latest novel. It is available on her website. Make sure to thumbs up this video, like and subscribe, and hit that notification bell button. I love you guys, and I will see you on the next one. Bye.